Hi everybody and welcome to the start, that's ruined it, of a brand new Let's Play, and time to start a brand new Sonic game, and this is the most recent Sonic game that was released a couple of months ago now. This is Sonic Superstars, developed by Sonic Team, which is kind of a rarity for 2D games these days. I think the last one they made was, God, it might have been all the way back in the Genesis days that Sonic Team actually worked on a 2D game. But it's also been developed by Arzest, and who are relatively new, I think. And basically, their president is Naoto Oshima, who's basically the original character designer for Sonic. And basically worked on, was a big part of Sonic the Hedgehog 1 all the way back in 1991. So yeah, it's kind of a cool thing to see him back, or at least his company back working on a 2D Sonic game, and him also being the producer for said Sonic game. So yeah, it's kind of cool in that regard. So yeah, this was released earlier this year. A couple of months ago, in fact, and this is a brand new 2D Sonic game with completely new and original, and it's basically not a complete step away from what Mania did, where it was like a 16-bit kind of throwback to the classics. This one instead is more of a 3D, kind of more of a 2D Sonic game with like 3D character models. So it's kind of interesting in that regard. In terms of the story, well, basically Eggman's brought Fang the Sniper back from the dead. He hasn't been on a game since Sonic Triple Trouble and Sonic Fighters. So yeah, it's been a fucking long time for him. I think Triple Trouble was Master System and Game Gear, so it's been a fucking long time for him. But yeah, so but Eggman's doing shit. Go stop him. It's pretty easy in that regard. In terms of the way the game looks, it looks absolutely gorgeous. Like, it's very bright and colourful. The effects are really gorgeous, like the waterfall there looks absolutely amazing. I'm really not. I have to admit, the first couple of parts are not me at my best, but but overall, it's a pretty beautiful looking game. I really like Sonic's character models as well. The models of the characters look really nice. But here we are, 2D Sonic game, which means we've got special stages for Chaos Emeralds, and I'll be honest, not the most fun to me. It's kind of unique in that you have to basically kind of swing from these grapple points to get towards the Chaos Emerald, and it kind of has a weird thing where like the first 4 are like pretty easy, and then from 5 onwards it's absolutely bullshit hard. Like, ridiculously hard. It's so difficult. But anyway, and this is kind of the new thing for Sonic Superstars, or one of the major new things. Every Chaos Emerald gives you a new ability. So the first one is kind of, you can create a whole bunch of copies of yourself, which you can throw at enemies. It's particularly useful in boss fights, where it's really fun and easy to use. But it's kind of cool that basically now, because in the previous 2D Sonic games, it's pretty much a case of if you didn't get all the Chaos Emeralds, then you got jack shit, basically. At least now you can collect like a few and still have some new abilities to kind of help you beat the game. So yeah, it's also a a multiplayer Sonic game as well. It's up to 4 players, and it's clear that it was not designed with 4-player co-op in mind. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous, dude. Damn it, I died. You know, it's absolutely ridiculous, but the game itself, like, if you're just playing single player, it's pretty fun. Playing it multiplayer, oh my god. It's completely unplayable. So now we've got this, which is kind of a little bit different. We haven't had a lot of these over the years in 2D Sonic. Fuck you. We haven't had a lot of these over the years. Kind of these. Instead of having a boss, we have these kind of this chasing section, which is pretty fun. My first playthrough I got through in no problem, but of course, recording myself, I have to fuck up a couple of times. But there we go. That's Act 1 done of the first zone. First zone, I'll say, is pretty nice. It's kind of a mixture of Bridge Island zone. It looks pretty nice. But it's kind of bog standard until the second act, actually, where you get like this kind of sunset kind of color scheme, which looks really fucking pretty. But yeah, this kind of looks like, you know, it's the green aesthetic which you kind of got from, you know, from Green Hill, from Emerald Hill, and other 2D Sonic games. But it's also got a little bit of a mix of the beach aesthetic that you got from Sonic Adventure, like the first level in Sonic Adventure. So that's kind of nice. So overall, yeah, first zone is pretty fun, fast-paced, very entertaining to go through. Graphically doesn't look super interesting, at least not the first act anyway. But I kind of like these thingamajiggies, these boost pads, that these like rings, which are the kind of loop-de-loops which are in a different kind of shape. They're kind of fun to go through. Yeah, overall, I really like this zone, especially the second act. The second act looks a lot more unique. But you know, overall, pretty fun. In terms of Sonic's control, he controls really fucking nicely. It feels very much like Mania. The only difference I've found, and I don't know if this is just me or not, but the way that Sonic's spin dash works is it feels nerfed. Feels very nerfed, Sonic's spin dash. Like, it doesn't go as far, or as it doesn't seem as fast, doesn't go as far as it used to. It's not a major problem because the spin dash still works well, but yeah, it just doesn't quite feel as OP as it is in the other games. So yeah, I thought I'd show up this ability. There's basically a timer on it, and it just basically just shoots a load of copies of Sonic, which basically cause damage. And of course, in my first run through of it, I pretty much defeated him just with those guys pretty easily. But of course, couldn't quite get that done over the line. But yeah, these are the boss fights. First thing is that the music for the boss fights is done by Jun Senoue, who's pretty well known composer for Sonic, who's done some really good stuff in the 3D era with Adventure 2, and Sonic and the Black Knight in particular. But yeah, he does both boss pieces of music for the bosses in this game, and yeah, in all honesty, the boss music fucking sucks. It's really not good. It's too short and it loops too early. It's really not good. the boss fights are kind of the main source of contention with this game, where they're long and kind of drawn out, and you can't really just kind of force your... Ow, fuck you. You can't really just force your way through them, as it were. You can't just defeat them super fast. You have to kind of go in. Hold right. There you go. You have to do it in a specific order, which is... You know, you're forced to do the 2 or 3 kind of phases of the boss, and you'll either love this or you'll absolutely detest it. Personally, I kind of like it. I think the bosses are pretty fun. Oh shit. How do I get to that ring? I don't think I can go back. Oh, there we go. Got there in the end. But yeah, the boss fights, you know, I think they're relatively fine. Like, I enjoyed most of them. There's only 2 which I don't like, which I'll point out as we go. But yeah, for the most part, I enjoy them. But yeah, I can understand why people fucking detest them. So now we're moving on to the... Yeah, am I going to get the second? I'm going to fuck up, aren't I? Nope. I wonder if I'm going to do this. I can't remember. I know I did all 4 zones. Nope. Fuck up. I did the first 4 flawlessly in my first run, so yeah. Of course, that's how it goes. But yeah, so this is Speed Jungle, second zone. Kind of a jungly kind of feel, which is pretty unique. And this is where we start to see kind of original badniks as well. Like, we've got that frog enemy, who's kind of a jerk, kind of annoying, kind of just sticks his tongue on you and kind of traps you. We saw there was like a firefly badnik, which kind of got... disguised himself as a ring monitor, which is kind of cool, kind of unique. And we got these... Yeah, but the main thing for this gimmick is basically these kind of... what's the word for them? I'm trying to remember them. Oh god, what happened there? I can't remember the name of it, but what's it called? Fuck my brain. I can't remember. Anyway. And also we got those enemies which are kind of look like the chompers, like the fish badniks from Sonic the Hedgehog 2, these guys. But they're along the ground and they kind of just shoot into the back of you. They're kind of fun to kind of jump out the way of and kind of fun to use. That's kind of cool as well, is that you can see in the background on some of the levels that your other partners, Tails, Knuckles and Amy, will be in the background kind of fighting other badniks. So it's kind of cool in that regard. So here we go, first mini-boss. And I actually enjoy this mini-boss. This mini-boss is pretty fun. But again, a lot of people's problem with it is that basically you're forced to go through all the phases, so you can't just fight it. So first phase is pretty simple. He shoots his grappling hook into the ground. You jump up. You kind of spin dash along it, or you can run along it if you want. And when you spin dash, ow. When you spin dash along it, ow. You can kind of just bonk him on the head. Second phase, he drops these energy balls, which are, despite what you're seeing, not that hard to avoid. You're then wanting to shoot into the wooden box platforms here, and then spin dash along it. Nice and easy. And kind of like how the platforms get steadily more difficult as well. So there's like flat ground in the first phase. Then you got these platforms with nothing along, these little platforms with nothing in between them in the second phase. Fuck you. And then in the third phase, it's got these platforms with like spikes coming out the ground. There we go. Dead. Like I said, actually, wow, it's a big bird. But like I said, I kind of enjoy these. They're fun. But yeah, I can understand why people think they're a bit too time-consuming and boring. But for the most part, I enjoy them. And we're done. We got through Act 1. Act Sonic? What could this mean? Well, I guess we'll soon find out. Knack, you piece of shit. I'm coming for you. Anyway, that's going to be it for this part. Jump next time for the next part of Sonic Superstars. When we're going to be heading through, finishing off the Jungle Zone, and we're going to be seeing what that Sonic stage is all about. So yeah, see you next time.